Hey everyone! So, as probably you can tell by the introduction of this random box appearing here, and from this t-shirt that I'm wearing, you probably know that yes, I picked up the Canon EOS R. You probably have a lot of questions as to why I picked this up, and let me go through it as I unopen this box. Let's get into it. I bought the Canon EOS R along with the 24-105 RF lens as f4, and the reason why I bought it is because I actually don't, honestly speaking, I don't have a lot of full frame lens around, and this is going to be my first full frame camera. The only other full frame lens I have available with me is the 50mm 1.8, which is a pretty versatile lens, and I believe is the first best lens you should ever buy. Yeah, so what's inside the box? You get this USB-C charging cable. It comes with, I have no idea what it comes with, but yeah, it looks like something that will hold the camera, hold the wires in place. You have the wire for the charging port, your warranty card, make sure you fill that up, a camera strap, the user manual, make sure you read it. yeah, you would. The battery brick, and the battery itself. This uses the LPE6N. One of the reasons why I went with the Canon EOS R is because number one is backward compatibility. This battery that the Canon EOS R uses is the same battery that my 60D used way back in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And it's really helpful because that battery is still powerful, and I already have the charging brick for that. And right now, so I already have 2 chargers for this, and I can buy multiple batteries, and so all those investments that I had in the past is not wasted now. Oh yeah, I had to ask someone what this was, and it's actually, I found out it's actually a lens holder. This 24-105 will be the first L lens I've ever owned. So that's the first layer, that's done. We go on the next layer, the lens hood. And that's it for this layer. And here you have the beauties of the camera and the lens. I should probably start clapping because it probably picks up the mic. And here we have the Canon EOS R. Whew. And we have with us the 24-105 f4 RF lens. Let me just get the box away so I can talk more about the reasons why I bought this camera and the lens. Okay, so here we have the Canon EOS R along with the Canon 24-105 RF lens. For those of you who have been following this channel, you know that I've been using the Canon EOS M50 to film most of my stuff, which actually I'm using it right now to film. And yeah, the small little camera has been really helpful in terms of being a travel and work camera. But it did have its limitations, and there's the reason why I picked up the Canon EOS R. The limitations are very specific to the work that I do, but I still feel the Canon EOS M50 is still the best bang for buck camera available for anyone who wants to begin using a camera, to have a spare camera around, and also basically to have something light and easy and versatile enough to carry and travel with. I'll still be carrying the Canon EOS M50 around in my bag most of the time, and whenever I work, this is where the Canon EOS R will come in handy. It wasn't an easy choice making this decision. There were other options in the market. I could have picked up the Canon EOS 6D Mark II, which was also on my list to get, but I wanted to have something that could last a few generations. So I'll give a bit of background of how I've been making my camera purchases. I usually buy something which I believe will last a few years, so I don't have to reinvest into anything. And investing into the R series is a way of future-proofing my devices. This RF lens mount is going to be the future mount for Canon cameras moving forward, and I wanted to use some, and I wanted to start in the RF lens series so that I can actually start building my gear from there. Another reason why I picked up the R and not, let's say, the RP is because I felt that the R has a lot more video functions which I need as a videographer and a photographer. Yeah, and basically all the functions are available and versatile enough for me to use. I like the ergonomics of the camera. I actually borrowed it before for a trip to Vietnam. I have not done that video yet, but I intend to do that video one day. Hopefully it comes up soon. Anyways, I like the grip that the camera gives me. It's I feel very confident holding it in one hand. I think a lot of things that people have been talking bad about this camera, like the single card slot and let's say the lack of specs, I think we need to look back and really analyze for ourselves, what do we really need in a camera. I need something that works, and as of right now, Canon has never failed me. I know right now I'm a Canon EOS Youth Ambassador. I'm not being paid to say this, and the reason why I chose to be part of the Canon EOS Youth Ambassador program is because I've always been using Canon products, and they have never once failed me. And I think that's what separates Canon from the rest of the cameras out there, is because right now I know that if I buy this camera, it is going to be reliable, it will work. Yeah, so I invested in the R because of its many function dials as well. And the R basically has a lot more controls. I have a control dial here at the top, I have a control dial at the side here. Yeah, and I also have the control dial on the ring of the lens. Let's see, the single card slot. I've never had a card fail on me before. I hope I will never have to experience that. And I think as long as we take good care of our cards, it shouldn't be much of a problem. And yeah, I like the Canon EOS R. I think it's a very good first attempt for a full-frame mirrorless camera from Canon. But I like the R because it is really functional as a video camera as well as a photography camera. And yeah, it takes amazing pictures and videos as well. I like the dual pixel autofocus, and the fact that right now with the newest firmware update you can actually have eye detect autofocus. Other than that, the reason why I went for this lens is because it's going to be my first L lens, and I wanted something that could fit in most situations. I don't have the money to buy into too much of the series, but I do intend to pick up a 1635 f4 IS to pair along with the adapter that is right here. And also to pick up maybe a 7200 in the near future. And that's basically all the lenses which I plan to buy in the series. In terms of specs, I think what a lot are not looking at is quality that you get. So for example, when you look at the video spectrum of things, and yes, this camera lacks 120p, but that's not a deal breaker for me. It also has a certain 4K limitation. I think we need to look deeper into certain aspects of this camera. For example, the codecs in Canon cameras are a lot beefier than the codecs of other brands. And I think that contributes to the reason why there is so much what you would call compromise in terms of the video capability. The reason why this camera cannot shoot 4K in full frame is because it's taking so much information into the sensor, and it's only so much that the processor can actually process at one go. And yeah, if you compare file sizes side to side, and you know that the camera, the Canon EOS R actually takes in a lot more 4K and as well as HD. So yeah, in the end, I want quality over quantity, and I think specs-wise, this camera has all the specs that I would need. And yeah, that's basically it. Buy a camera that works for you. For me, the Canon EOS R has everything that I need to push my photography and my videography a little step further. Actually a lot further. I'm now moving from using solely APS-C sensors to actually a full-frame camera now. It scares me because I actually told myself at the beginning that I'll never go full-frame. It was one of those things which I thought, let me prove everyone wrong that I do not need full frame. And yes, you don't need full frame, but I would like the extra stop of light in a lot of my work, and I would like the functionality of it now. And now that I am getting a little more serious in photography, I see the need for it. But you don't have to jump to the EOS R. The EOS R is not for everyone, the same as every other camera. But for me, this works. So yeah, choose a camera that works for you guys. And if you have any other questions about the Canon EOS R or this 24105, let me know in the comments, and maybe I could make another video about that. But until then, I'll be playing with this boy, and we'll see what we can get along the way. Yeah, bye guys.